Okay, welcome Rinpoche. Um, Let me get you on. We do have a few questions. One of the first questions that somebody did write is two of their close friends died recently. Is that due to bad karma? So, and so then another question is, what we're living with now, is that the result of different causes from our past and present life? So even if we don't want to take or find it difficult to take responsibility for our karma, does this mean we're the ones really who caused it anyway? So we kind of have to. Is that right?
Okay, so first make sure the question is clear. The first one saying two friends died. Is this bad karma, right?
Yes.
Okay, the answer is somebody die, we cannot say is bad karma, but whoever experiencing suffering, that death, you could say that is, could say, it's not only could say, but it is definitely some the result of bad karma. Of course, any suffering is the result of bad karma. The only difference is what degrees of bad karma. So that is the answer. So is that clear?
Yeah, I think that's clear.
Okay, the second one saying, what do you say?
Should we have done the prayers, Rinpoche, or just you want to start answering?
Oh, okay. We can do prayer later.
Okay.
Later.
Okay.
He said later.
So the second question was, even if we don't really like the idea and want to take responsibility, is really everything that we're experiencing now from our past lives and present lives? So like all the karma we're experiencing is our own.
You mean right now we don't want to experience coronavirus, but we have to experience globally. So is that past result of past karma or present karma? Is that a question, or I don't know? I don't understand really.
They're just mean in their own life. So they're asking, is it correct that everything that they're experiencing now in their life is the result of their past lives karma and their present life karma?
Yes. Yes, correct to say everything is a result of karma. Yes.
So they're saying, even if it seems difficult or they don't want to take responsibility, we created our own karma, so we have to take responsibility. Is that correct?
Yes. You want to take responsible or you don't want to take responsible is not your choice. You know, it's not anybody's choice. But you want to responsible and you taking care very well the response, or you just careless. That is everybody's choice.
Okay.
Or you just don't believe and then just ignore. Or you accept, or you not accepting. That's everybody's, choices. make difference the experience.
Okay, so Rinpoche, the next question is, what effects do the actions of parents and grandparents have on us? Is that some sort of family karma?
No. Family karma is only one lifetime. One lifetime, whatever they have to share, that is their sharing karma. But it doesn't mean the family have to share many lifetimes. Some sure do, but not necessarily. Majority more likely not sharing. Is that answer?
Yes, that did answer it. Okay. So another person's asking if they're having poor health, is that also the result of karma?
Of course, nothing's exception. Only the difference is a really bad karma or a little bit bad, or is very heavy or not so heavy, is a little bit changeable or no possible change. Those only degrees different, but is that karma, and there's no exception.
Okay. Okay. So this is another one related to the Pure Land and karma. So if a person is a really wicked, evil person with really bad karma, can he or she just recite the Buddha mantra and go to the Pure Land? Or do they have to still eliminate, or is it still important for them to eliminate any bad karma? Or can they just recite the mantra and go to the Pure Land?
If the incredible bad karma, a bad person, no matter how much you recite the mantra, how much you desperately want to go to Pure Land, doesn't go Pure Land at all. Okay? Because that also selfish, another form of selfish. Or bad karma, or the bad behaviors come from selfish. Nothing's not come from selfish. So when you pray, only you want to go Pure Land because you don't want to experience bad karma. That's the only reason you do. There's no kindness, no compassion, no understanding others. It doesn't take you Pure Land at all. Doesn't matter how many mantras you recite.
The next question's back to the parents, okay? So if we have bad parents who are very mean to you and makes you not want to take care of about them, does it make bad karma for you if you don't care about them or talk to your parents because they're bad?
You just have to think about the parents, how much you care about you, take care of you, how much they care in the mind, how much you care physically they did, you receive the care and kindness, how much you receive. So now your parents appears for you is so bad, incredible. So that's why you don't want to take care. But you have to measure how much they take care of you. Have you done the same back? If not, you definitely try to make up how much you received from them. But if you think you haven't received much, they come from kindness and taking care of you, and their actions, and if you listen them and if you take care of them, it completely destroy your life, not just your life, but is your waste, your precious time. No practice dharma or anything, improve yourself. That kind of incredible waste in time. Then you have to, yes, you have to consider what is really fair and what you should do.
Rinpoche, you last week, I think you said animals cannot become human via reincarnation. Why is that?
I never said that.
Yeah, Jenna, I think you misinterpreted last week. Rinpoche was talking about whether animals could create the intention, the intention and create positive karma, and why it's different that we have a precious human birth because we
Yeah.
can't.
When the animals, not all animals necessarily, but some maybe very intelligent animals, maybe they can do, but a majority animals, they cannot do incredible good karmas while they are animal, that stupid animal that time. But that doesn't mean they didn't have other karma already created to pursue human birth already long time ago and haven't ripened yet. So that one, they have plenty. It should be the possible, plenty possibilities.
Okay. So Rinpoche, if I'm seeing abuse or something that makes me angry, and I get angry, am I feeding my negative karma? Like, am I increasing my own negative karma when I'm reacting to the situation?
Yes, of course. Of course, everything is karma. So that's why when we have a very easy, angry, selfish, all of them come from karma too. So that's why if we've been an incredible good in many lifetimes, and you have so much good karma, you wouldn't be very easily angry and hurt yourself, hurt others, very easily jealous. All of them wouldn't be. They all is, of course, the consequence of karma. But that doesn't mean you cannot change. So, like kind of like if you know how to take the opportunity very well, then and when we are human, then we have these opportunities. But when we are animal, we don't have that opportunities because they're not enough intelligent.
Okay, so the next question is, how is it possible then if you have to have like a lot of good karma to be reborn a human, then how is it possible to be a human but have a cruel mind? Why would you be reborn a human with a bad mind?
To be human, to be born on a human or a precious human birth is very different. That you have to understand first. So to be a human is definitely harder than a big animal. Even we don't have to think too much. We look at the numbers, how many animals and how many humans number is incredibly less. So that alone shows us that to be human is much harder than other sentient beings. However, a pursues human birth means who understand how precious this if we use the right way, and then you take opportunities, always use the right way, and you take the full advantage, who doing this is purchased human birth, who not doing this and who is ignorance about this and mindless of this and always missing the opportunity, they are just the human birth, but not pursue human birth.
Okay, so Rinpoche, aren't there a lot of blessings in the Vajrayana mantras? And as long as people have these blessings, say these mantras, they can't fall into the three evil realms. So people wear these mantras sort of to reverse these effects. So how would they fall into those realms then?
What do you say? Say again?
I think they're asking if they're protected, if they wear like a mantra that protects from falling in the three evil realms, or if they say a mantra that protects from falling in the three evil realms, then is that person just protected and won't have
Okay.
another lower rebirth?
Okay, is anybody teach you just say this mantra so that you cannot go in the lower realms? That is wrong teaching. Okay, there is no such mantra. You just do the mantra and anything else you don't be mindful, which means you don't have to develop any compassion, kindness, forgiveness, you know, like, or any of this, you don't focus at all, zero focus, and only just do the mantra and then you not fall in the lower realms. That is a wrong teaching, no possible. Instead, if you have to focus, be a better person and, you know, more kind and compassionate and thoughtful and be mindful, conscientious, at the same time, then you doing the mantra for that to become a better person, this life, not only next life, or you doing the mantra to all other sentient beings suffering and all this, then yes, you maybe go Pure Land, but without any thinking of these things and just doing mantras selfishly for yourself doesn't send you Pure Land at all. So all the prayers and mantras are like secondary, your gesture of kindness, compassion, understanding others, forgiveness, all these practices. Without any real practice and then just doing the mantra for selfish reasons, it doesn't work. And people, anybody say this is work for you, and that means is wrong teaching. Even you feel temporarily work, that's it, no more. Okay, not necessarily that reason, but if yes, that's it, no more. But if you do it for others, kindness, compassion, then is yes. Why? Because others much innumerable. Others are innumerable. You only one. That's why. That's why we always should focus others, not me. You only focus me is if I can for others. Then I need to take care of myself because I do good things for others. But only you don't care others, only me, then you is only one, so small. So small in this universe. So that's why there is no good result. we just always remind ourselves, me is how small and so unimportant. Compare the universe, compare the all sentient beings. And our sentient beings, how big, how innumerable compare just me. We have to think that always. If you focus that, then you never become foolish.
So Rinpoche, the next person's wondering if the Vajrasattva mantra and practices are more powerful than the Vajraguru mantra for purification, or are they equally the same? Because this person feels like they're being pursued by demonic beings and have been unable to purify this karma to stop this being from harassing them.
A person unable can do what?
They're wondering what they can do to stop this demonic being from harassing them. So they're wondering, was the Vajrasattva purification or the Guru mantra better for purifying? Because they've been trying to do purification to stop some demonic being from attacking them and can't. So they're wondering what they can do.
Telling evil beings are attacking.
You mean
Yeah, so
two
questions.
things? I don't know. I mixed. I don't know what.
Two questions. So the first question is they're wondering if the Vajrasattva purification or the Vajraguru mantra, which one is more powerful for purification? So that's the first question.
Depend what you believe. Depend what comfortable for you. Okay. So what is more makes sense in your mind is any logical points or whatever in intuitive level or whatever is how important in your mind. That's number one factor, makes a difference. If you don't have that, then in general, then Vajrasarva, yes, for purification, Vajrasarva.
Okay, so the second thing is they feel they're being attacked by evil spirits, okay, demon beings or evil spirits, and they've been trying to do these purification practices to get that to go away, but it hasn't. So they wonder what should they do.
Okay. All our experiences is a consequence of our own karma, remember? The same thing, the demon or whatever we call, all of them also our karma. Okay? So that means who made our own karma? We made ourselves. So in that point of view is all demons and all bad beings, spirit, bad spirit or whatever, it is all who created, we create ourselves. Whoever you experience in, you created yourself. So that's why the best thing is you know that there is no such thing, demon or bad spirit or anything other than my own karma, my own creator. If you can understand that, that is the best antidote. Even you not 100% understand it, but even you have half believe that, it does incredible help. But if you have zero understanding this, zero believe in that, then you have no choice. You just try to do some prayers and try to such and such such and such remedies, apply, try, no choice. You try to do those games. That sometimes maybe help because is what you believe. Is that clear?
Yes, that's clear.
Okay.
Okay, so So we're back to an earlier question where the person was trying to understand what's best to do when they get angry about a situation that they think is abusive. So they're wondering if they get angry at other people because they're creating abuse and they get angry and show them, are they creating bad karma when they want to stop the person from being abusive if they're like expressing anger. So and there's been a couple questions around how to deal with anger, and if do I just hold all the anger inside, but if I'm still angry in my mind, am I making bad karma? So people want to know what to do when they have anger.
When you have anger, I think the best thing is why you angry. You analyze why you angry, who you are, and why you angry. You know, and then you sure you have reasons. Oh, because I'm angry, because abusing, because blah blah blah. But you go beyond that. You know, like okay, abusing. Okay, then why abusing is so bad? You know, like or anything. Think further. Can you go 100 steps? Okay, it's abusing because I'm angry because abusing. Okay, what abusing means? Okay, why is abusing is so bad? And can you go 100 steps? If you can't go 100 steps, 50 or 25, how much you can go? If you do that, maybe you find some, oh, there's pointless to anger, you know? Instead, if you are very lucky, you feel sorry for them, this person, rather than anger. That is one possibility. Okay? The second, if you have good reasons angry, then you angry it. Not just angry inside, you show outside and you defeat that person if you have good reasons. So then your anger is gone when you defeat it. Then you have sense of pride. Or if you did very well, maybe the other people also respect you. So your anger is no longer harmful anybody. If it's not harmful, then it cannot be bad karma. So there's many options. We just have to be mindful and wise. Yeah, we need exercise actually. You can exercise a distance. Doesn't matter you fell a few times, but if you are getting better, then you can do those things. You just inside very, very angry, but you don't want to show outside. It doesn't really help much. Sometimes maybe temporary situations help something, but ultimately nothing's help. Instead, you have to analyze, because usually we think it is important to not abusing or anything. We think usually our thinking is not right if you analyze properly. So those things you can realize. It's not simple. There's a lot of things you can learn.
Okay, so Rinpoche, it seems like there's still questions about this evil person. So this question is, if someone's really evil in life and when they're dying, people perform POA for them, can this can that work? or would this contradict Buddhist law of causality? If we
What?
all, so I think they're still trying to wonder if there's like an easy out for somebody, like an easy fix for someone with a lot of negative karma, right? So they this evil person, and then what if we do POA for this evil person? Would that let them, go to a Pure Land or something? And
If there is a really evil person, no matter whoever do you poa, doesn't do anything. That's all. There's no such thing as somebody can magically, magic means fake. Do you know that? Magic means not real. So it's nobody can miraculously to send them a Pure Land or liberate, no possible. If Buddha said he doesn't, he said nobody. Buddha said, you are the yourself is the liberator. Nobody can liberate you, no possible. So if you don't believe a Buddha and then you believe somebody else, then it's a different story. But according to Buddhism, no. We only can do facilitate. Even a Buddha, what he can do, the best facilitate for you, but you have to do it. For instance, I'll give you a simple example. If there is very bad kids, you send the best school, the most expensive school in the world, the best teachers teach, but he never listen and he never do anything what teachers say. Can he become very incredible scholar and knowledgeable? Huh? Like that?
yeah, so I think this answers the question. So there's a few more that you've put that are all ways to try to get this evil person out without doing anything. So I think Rinpoche's just answered that there's no quick magic fix to that.
If there is an evil person, is not, we just have to show them kindness and compassion. Kindness and compassion only make them softer, if it's possible. If they have a little good karma in there, hidden in them, and then our good facilitate this kindness and compassion, forgiveness, connect he or she, the little good karma, connecting them, and then more soften. And then start, this evil person can start become a better. That's only we can do.
So Rinpoche, are there degrees of karma? Like for instance, is there some difference between if we have some thoughts or thoughts and feelings, or are thoughts and feelings that are harmful that are stronger, or if we perform actual actions based on our thoughts and feelings? So is there differences, like if to the karma that's created, if we act or don't act?
Oh, you mean we
just
only have strong thoughts, feelings.
don't do like I want to do something very bad, but I just think about it, but I don't do it, versus if I do it.
Of course, you do it much stronger. Because if you do it, and then, how do you say, complete it, because you have that intention, and then you have continuity to do this, determination, and then you satisfy, you done, and then you satisfy it, and so that means complete. But if you have a bad intention all the time, but you are not brave enough or whatever, you haven't done, so that means it's still very bad karma, but it's a little bit less than you done.
So then, if we become aware that we have done something that is going to make some negative karma, can we fix it or rectify it immediately, or do we just have to wait this lifetime or many lifetimes to have the result? Right? If we do something, can we fix it at all now?
You mean any bad karma already done? Can we fix? Do you mean?
So if you realize you're doing something right now that's creating bad karma,
Oh,
can they do anything to fix it right now, or do they just have to wait many lifetimes until that just comes
no,
back?
no. You have to fix immediately. If you immediately you try to purify, much more powerful than you try to purify or million lifetimes ago. I must be done something and try to purify now. It's that much slow and less powerful. But you once you realize you quickly you have regret, and then you know it's wrong. The best thing, what do you know what? For instance, let's say you thinking, okay, I'm maybe going to kill the best friend and then receive all this his money or whatever. If you thinking like this and then you, oh my God, I'm making huge bad karma, I want to purify that quickly. The best way, if you can purify, you tell him, I thought like this, my God, and I made huge bad karma. You tell this person, you tell everybody, you put in the internet, and then you confess for everybody. If you do that, very quickly you purify it.
Okay, Rinpoche, we're still having questions about, for instance, if I broke my leg or my arms, does this mean that I made bad karma in my last life? So people are still having questions about.
The same answer.
Yeah.
This is, yes, you made bad karma if you are suffer from. But if you are not suffer from and leading you something very important, then maybe not bad karma. Depend is not your leg broke or not leg broke. What the consequences of leg broke? You have to look at that.
Okay.
The consequence is suffering and unpleasant, then yes, of course, bad karma.
There's a couple questions that all sort of center around what's the best way to purify negative karma?
Okay. So then is it finished?
There's a few different questions, such as can we recite Vajrapani Sutra if we don't have an oral transmission, and other karma questions. But I think a lot of them would be answered, not that one, but most would be answered in that if you
Okay.
talk about purification.
Okay, now I talk a little bit, and then we see if there's more question we can talk later. Okay.
Okay.
So you want to pray?
Yeah, we'll just do the refuge and the four measurables. Just quick. The link is already there, everyone. Okay. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the virtuous merit created by practicing the Dharma, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the virtuous merit created by practicing the Dharma, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the virtuous merit created by practicing the Dharma, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be separated from bliss that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and aversion.
Okay. So firstly, can everybody think about the karma is action, your own action, your own action of the, if you can't say beginnerless, endless, you don't have to think that, just innumerable lifetimes, okay? Can you think that? If that too much, you just think of trillion lifetimes, or trillion lifetimes, my actions, 24/7, trillion lifetimes. This is all karma. But there's good karma and bad karma, not all bad. Which one more, we don't know. But more likely, the good karma more. Otherwise, we couldn't even find the human this time. So think that first. Even you don't have to think huge and many logics, but just other sentient beings, how many? They said, Buddha said, the most sentient being number big is hell, and second most hungry ghost, third is demigods, and fourth is human, okay? And the gods, samsaric gods, are less than human, okay? We don't see hell realms and hungry ghosts and demigods and the gods, we don't see them. We only see animals. But the animals and the human, which one is more? Animals may include insects, include flies, include birds. So who's many? Trillion times more than human, right? If we just look at only that, definitely human life is not easily to gain. If you understand that, then what do we do? Something is incredible rare. We must use that, right? If you not use, then you waste it. So same idea. So we should be happy about we have the human birth first. Second, we should think how I take this opportunity, the 4 advantages. For advantage is not bucket list, okay? We have silly bucket list. I want done this, I want done this, I want done. No, that. That's just small-minded people have this. So they're just doing this. I mean, a big minded, wise people cannot have backlights. I'm not saying that. But in general, just as a silly backlights, it doesn't mean you taking full advantage. Full advantage means, full taking advantage means how can I make myself wise from day one, from today? How I'm become serious to start from today. I'm going to be very serious from today. If you think that, that means you really taken advantage. You pursued human birth. That means your birth is not just human, but become a pursued human birth. Started. So what that mean? Basically, you try to become a better person. That's all. If you're doing a better person, that means you already purify negative karmas. To purify negative karmas, you don't have to look some specific things. Whenever you become a mindful, unconscious, and not wasting time, and to begin improving yourself, that means your negative karmas start reducing. Your positive karmas start increasing. So please try to understand that. How simple is that? Okay? Don't think that karma is once done, then you fixed and unchangeable. You only have to exhaust by proof, by experiencing. Don't think that way. There is nothing permanent in this universe. Everything is changeable. That means everything is flexible. So that means, can you think karma is innumerable but flexible, but not simple? Why? Because innumerable cannot be simple, but still can be flexible. Can we understand that, please? When we say, oh, is that bad karma? Is that bad karma? Question this many. This means you not understanding karma yet. You have to read more and study more. Your karma is, your understanding karma is only hearsay in karma. Not good enough. You have to read proper book. Okay? You read my books about karma. I only can guarantee you will have no regret. That's I can guarantee. Oh, I'm so regret. I read Kantar Rinpoche's book, Sacred Truth. Okay, that's I can guarantee you have no regret. Other than that, we don't know how much improve you. That's individual. But I'm sure you have no regret. So then you understand more. So karma is innumerable, but not simple, but is flexible. Three, remember these three, please. Karma is innumerable, not simple, but is flexible. And remember, karma, why is it flexible? Because we made it. You made it yourself. That's why it's begin you change, your karma is changing. Do you know that? And another one, important, all bad karmas based on ignorance and selfish. Because ignorance and selfish always together. There's no one bad karma come from compassion, love, kindness, thoughtful. They all come from ignorance and selfish. Why? Because all bad karmas, nobody made bad karmas for purpose of suffering. Everybody made bad karmas for purpose of your own happiness, your own enjoy. But the consequence is the opposite because of ignorance and selfish. So for this reason, whenever you start improve yourself means you start understand others, not just yourself. Or someone have a little bit bigger than yourself, then me and my family, my friends. That means me and mine. Me and mine also almost like me. Because all mine is important because of me. But me is not important because only one. Others very important because a innumerable and a universe. That's why. But who have to experience this? Again, me. So that's why I call ignorance and selfish. When I say this, some people think, oh, I'm not ignorance. I'm not selfish. When we thinking like this and we taking something personal, that means also you are selfish. You are ignorant because you taking personal. You have no room rather than blame. You know, that it is why important to karma is not fixed because impermanent, because I created, So I undo it. All my karma is I create, so I can undo it. But how to undo it? First, increase good karma, decrease bad karma. And eventually, you are free from both karmas. So that means when we accumulate more good karma and accumulate, we are decreasing bad karma. Decreasing means we can say purify. Purification of karma is you don't have to be specific rituals. Whenever you start increasing good karma, you already purifying negative karma. Then you think, okay, then why Buddhists they have provided so many rituals for purify? Because Buddha so kind. Buddha's the followers so kind. For the ignorance people, they only can hold one thing but cannot expand their view. Then they give only one this ritual and say, here you go, do this. That's why. It is work you do their rituals. It's not useless. However, the primary condition, important, you expand, not just me, others as well. That's why when we do in purification, we say, sometimes we visualize it for all sentient beings with together and do it, this ritual. But sometimes if you can't visualize it, all sentient beings, that's okay. You believe you do it in behalf of all sentient beings. You do in this purification. Not thinking, I do this purification, so I'm not go to hell. Other sentient beings, I don't know where they go, up to them. Yes, it's up to them, but how you think is up to you. So we have to think the best way. That's why I gave you the rituals. Rituals are guideline, not the primary factor. Primary factor is so easy to change selfish mind to compassionate, to narrow view, expand a big view, big vision. Usually you see everything is a small when you are narrow view. But when you expand your view, you see there is many good aspects. Usually you think it's only bad. Usually you see it's only black. Now you see many colors there. So that is the way is purification better. Okay, specifically, there is 4 conditions to purify negativities. That one, you have remorse your bad actions if you remember anything in this life. But there is plenty to remember it. Nobody is perfect, that's why. And you have recognized this as bad, and remorse. That's number one option, number one condition. Number one power, they call power. Four powers. Four powers together can purify negativity. Second, support. Supporting means the rituals. Any of rituals is supporting you. Supporting means, remember, not primary, remember, it's secondary. That's why support. If you have to win the election, president election, you're number one. You are the primary condition. Other people only can support you. But the support or not is dependent on who you are, how you present. Same thing. The rituals or anything is only support. Then what is the third important? Your action. Your action means, it doesn't mean you have to marathon run, or you have to do something very big, visible. But your mind action, if it's a ritual, some kind of visualization, mantra, blah, 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 you can do that. Something project, you can do that. Whatever, you can do that. Your action. But you don't have to do any of this. In your mind, you analyzing and taking steps, how you improve your usual behavior. Behavior of mind, behavior of speech, behavior body. That is action. These all go together. And then final is the third dokhi, which means resolution. Which means beginning, remember beginning, you have to recognize and regret all your bad actions. As genuine as possible. That's why I say, you tell everybody, you put in internet, which means you put a priority at the genuine regret rather than saving the face. Because saving the face is samsara important. Your genuine regret is enlightenment important to purify your negative karma. But the important thing I want to tell you, when you're doing this, yes, you genuine as possible. Genuine regret. You can cry or whatever you can do, that's the best. But is not saying you always feel guilty and you hanging on that guilt and you feel bad and and then you are distracted from this effect in your life as miserable. That is not necessary. Okay? Sardukhitun means you believe your genuineness to purify your negative karma. You have to believe it, and you have to move on. Not stuck in guilt and miserable life. So that's why I say Sardukwa. Resolution means that. Whatever you done wrong, you don't have to stuck with that every day. Why? I tell you why. It's because 1,000 lifetimes bad karma doesn't mean you have to purify 1,000 lifetimes. 1,000 lifetimes bad karma, you can purify one session if you are extremely genuine. That's why I say put in the internet and tell them I did this bad thought. But many people can't do it. Because narrow view of this stupid samsaric seven face. But if you could, eons negative karma, you can purify a week, a month, whatever. Depend how you are genuine, how you are wise, how you are compassionate, how you understand the deeper of the enlightenment. How do you understand your Buddha nature? Even you don't understand, but how strong your belief, that also as well. Karma is not, oh, you kill somebody, so then you must kill yourself to purify. You torture somebody, so you must torture yourself. That's not the way of purifying. Okay? Please don't misunderstand. If you have genuineness, somebody torture you, accepting as a negative karma, you have a miserable life, you accepting as negative karma, result of negative karma, that is good. But you don't have to go purposely torture you, okay? That is not the way of purifying. Way of purifying is changing yourself, which means the root of the problem, because you've been selfish and ignorance, that's why you create negative karmas. So you become now, day one, you become more wise and more compassionate. To focus those two. That's it, enough. But if you really want a specific rituals, you want to do it, and there's 10 different categories in my book. You go, okay? Those things, any of those things you can do. But you don't have to do the specific things. Remember, at day one, you start improving yourself to more thoughtful and compassionate and wiser. Wise means how you become wise. Analyze. Read book and analyze. All silly distractions put aside. Usually people say, I have no time. No, you're not making the time for the important things. You are so busy or for silly things. Why I say silly? Because you done this innumerable times. You repeating them. But this precious Dharma, you haven't done much before. So now is the only opportunity. So that's what I'm saying. So this is the best way of purifying. Not torturing yourself and guilty and stuck on this for life. This is the opposite of the purification. Do you know why? There must be scientific reason. If you hang on this negativity, then you are creating more negativity, the negative energy. But you have genuineness, regret, and then you want to do something about, that is a powerful action to purify. But you are clinging on that, is you creating more negativities. Okay? So maybe I'll leave here if they have any questions.
If you have any new questions for Rinpoche, you can add them now to the Q&A or to the chat. Take a moment to look through the other ones.
No more question?
Oh, there were, but I think you've answered some of them. For instance, this person's wondering if they don't find true love in this life, is that their bad karma? And if so, how can they change it?
Actually, is nobody finding true love in this universe. Not just you. Do you know what true love means? Can you make a definition of true love?
Don't know what their definition is.
Almost nobody in this universe have true love. Everybody just some degrees of love are mixed with selfishness, self-attraction, self-benefit, self-convenience. Many things mixed together we call love. Okay? So love should come from your love. If you generate so much love, I can guarantee everybody loves you. But you try to look in for a specific selfish love, it doesn't respond because you focus too narrow. It's not matching what you're looking for and what you generated. Not only this life, but yeah, of course, previous lifetimes you haven't generated that kind of specific love. Yes, of course, karma, but the good thing is you have to accept that karma and you change it from now. What do you need to change? You're not looking for love. You want to love others unconditionally. That I can guarantee respond. Not necessarily what are you looking for one, specific one, but maybe better one. Is that clear?
That's very clear, Rinpoche.
Okay.
So we've had this asked twice. Why did the Buddha not show us a rainbow body when he went into nirvana, or left us a little relic body?
Nobody show us rainbow body. Who show us rainbow body? I don't know anybody, only know stories. Stories we don't know, is that real or not real? That is one answer. But another answer, spiritual attainment is individual's perception. Not everybody can see something. And there's too many made up stories. We don't know really which one is real. I'm not saying there is no rainbow body not exist. But even if it exists, is individuals a karmic version, not one for everybody. Impossible.
Okay. Rinpoche, the Mahayana and Vajrayana teach emptiness, that ultimately there are no beings and that the beings are illusory. So how can we have compassion for all beings that are illusory? Like, how can we cultivate that while at the same time seeing everything as an illusion?
Actually, if you really understand not real, illusory, then you have more compassion. Do you know why? When you think it's real, you have no compassion. Okay? I tell you why. Because when you think that everything is real, this is your reality, right? Then yeah, of course you see sometimes there is suffering, you know. But you only see this obvious suffering. You don't see the subtle sufferings. Because subtle suffering is related with it. There is no base, that's why. So that's why you cannot have very high degree of compassion. Because you don't see subtle suffering. You only see the obvious suffering. But when you know is this all illusion, and then you have a tremendous compassion. Why? Let's say your only son, only daughter, or whoever, the most your beloved one, are dreaming incredible suffering in the dream. You know that. Would you have very urgent to wake up, or you let him or suffer entire night? So like that. Because you know this is not real, but he thinks real, the dream. Same as all sentient beings suffering because they something not real, they think is real, that's why I suffer. So actually that one have more compassion. Remember, by the way, compassion means is not sad, okay? Compassion is a caring and urgently and actively. Would you wake up very quickly? Would you care about this bad dream, your, incredible suffering dream? Your child think is real. Would you care that? Would you wake up urgently or not? It's like that.
Okay, so Rinpoche, you've suggested that if we've created a lot of negative karma or have some negative thoughts around people, we can fix it by sharing on the internet. So if I'm not ready for that, would it also help to just send them lots of compassionate, good thoughts and wishes myself for their highest attainment without going and posting what I did on the internet in public?
Okay, of course, if you are not ready, you don't have to force yourself to do this. When you are ready means you have to see all the benefits, But if you're not ready, that's okay, no problem. And then that means number one, you cannot do it. Number second, you cannot do it. Second best, third best, you cannot do it. So then fourth and fifth best you can do. That's okay?
Yeah. Okay, so if I make good karma all my life, and then right at the moment of death, I have these really terrible, evil, and hateful thoughts, will then I fall into the 3 lower realms?
If you have entire life maintained good karma, almost impossible you have evil thoughts before you die. Why? Because everything, we are like onion. We are means we are, Buddha said, or illusion means like onion. Layers, 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 there's no essence. Same thing, our habit, layers. So you have good habit layers on entire life. Where they come from? Evil thoughts. More likely never come evil thoughts before you die, if your life is like that virtues. But let's pretend if did, is that alone cannot send you lower realms. Because in general, before you die, thoughts important, but only important are adding the real karma, not the fundamental karma. To project you are at the lower realm, no.
Rinpoche, so Paulette's wondering, Would you recommend that we stick to just one spiritual practice, such as Kala Chakra, instead of doing so many different Buddhist practices?
Depend other people's capacity. If your capacity, if you see Kala Chakra is everything, Kala Chakra is the universe, and then Kala Chakra means actually the samsara universe and enlightened universe. So if you see that way, you wouldn't looking for anything else. But if you don't see that way, then you're looking for many things. So we cannot say you can't look at others. You must, because you can't see. Okay, you can look for others. You can try this maybe better, or try this better, or maybe this better. Because you have only that capacity. But if somebody suggests, if I want to suggest, yes, you don't have to look in. If your spiritual practice is this system, your spiritual practice system is really complete, then you don't need to look for others. But yourself don't see it complete, then you have no choice. You have to look others. Okay?
Okay. Rinpoche, what is the best mantra for me to do to purify my past negative karma?
Best mantra?
Yes.
Om Vajra Sado Hum. Om Vajra Sado Hum. That's short one. The longer one is the 100 syllable, especially Kala Chakra Heruka 100 syllable. But that's in generalization. Not necessarily everybody for individuals. Individuals, your mind, which one is comfortable for you to purify negativity. That's important. Good actions, good thoughts.
So, Rinpoche, when we're purifying or eliminating our negative karma, is it just do it without discrimination? Like, do we have to know what karmas are being eliminated, or are they just indiscriminate?
No, not possible. Nobody knows. Even Arahats don't know. Even Manjushri don't know, okay? Only Buddha knows. Don't worry about
Okay, I keep the next question is I keep encountering obstacles at work. How do I remove or decrease the obstacles?
Depend what obstacle is. But all obstacles come from ignorance and selfish, unthoughtful, no mindfulness. So I think focus those things may be helpful.
Okay, so then the question is, well, can't a person can't a person overcome their negative karma even if they have a lot?
I said it. Even during the Buddha time, one person, he killed 999 person killed,
Anjali.
and then he become Arahat. One lifetime. Because Buddha said, you can, from day one, you change, then you can. and then he did it, and then he become like that. Then he becomes better than Manjushri, and he debate finally. He debate with Manjushri, and then he said, Manjushri, you don't know this. This is you wrong, and he correct many times. Manjushri, right?
Rinpoche, the person is still stuck on the person's thoughts when they're dying, because doesn't it say in the scriptures that whatever their mental state is at the moment of death affects them when their future life?
What?
The person who is wondering about dying and having evil thoughts at the moment of death, they're still wondering if the thoughts in that person's mind create their future life when they die, because it says so in the scriptures.
Oh, yes. Scripture said, in general, if you have a negative karma, which one is the stronger set negative karma is before you die. Even your good karma, and also before you die. That's why it's so important when people die, we try to calm their mind and try to put, they have some kind of devotion or anything, we try to put them. That's why. The other hand, yes, if you have evil thoughts, that's very strong. But that doesn't mean this is becomes stronger than any other karma innumerable your lifetimes. Doesn't mean that. Okay.
Okay, Rinpoche, can you achieve enlightenment without getting rid of karma?
No possible. There's no such thing enlightenment while you are not free from karma. That's impossible, impossible, impossible.
Okay, so if we eliminate or purify the karma, what is the status after it's removed? So is it, I think the person's wondering, like, if we purify the negative karma, what is the status of it after it's removed? Is it now good karma? Is it gone? Does it not exist?
This person may be thinking only one good karma and one bad karma. That's it, no more, right? Karma, remember, karma is innumerable, remember? Innumerable. Why innumerable? Because our actions are innumerable. It's simple. Can you think of this simple logic? Karma is innumerable because our actions are innumerable. So you purify negative karma, trillion negative karma doesn't mean you don't have any more left. But if you have no left bad karma, that means you have only good karma left. That means full of good karma, full of innumerable good karma. This all innumerable good karma, what they do, consequence is leading you a better rebirth, better rebirth. Leading you better rebirth, what does do? Eventually you free from karma. That means you are no longer dominated by karma. You can do whatever you want. You can manifest whatever you want. That core enlightenment. So that's why it's not only just negative karma, but even a positive karma doesn't let you enlightenment. It doesn't help you, but you eventually you have to free from that. Free from means also I have to explain. This all positive karma, all this positive karma becomes another layer, not your level layer. That means this all positive karma, innumerable positive karma, allow you manifest for sentient beings. They can experience you, your version. Not you are the enlightened version, but they can see the other version. That's all. But you are no longer associated with this. You are no longer controlled by this. You are go beyond that. Okay, you need to study those things. One answer cannot solve all problem.
So Rinpoche, we've talked previously about the Golden Age, and is that something that the Shambhala Kings say will definitely happen in time? Or is that Golden Age dependent on the decisions we collectively make as a planet, like on our karma? Or will it just happen?
Of course, our karma, but the prediction of our karma. But our karma means you don't know when you are die, right? So if you die tomorrow, or if you are die before Golden Age, 1 week, that is not your universe anymore. It's not your Golden Age anymore. So just remember that. But who predicted is not Shambhala Kings predict, it's Buddha predicted. Okay? It's Buddha predicted. So Shambhala Kings are doing the work according to Buddha's prediction. So that means we try create karma, we are be part of the Golden Age. Instead, we exit Golden Age. That is very important to connect with Kalachakra Tantra, because that Kalachakra Tantra is a Golden Age Dharma come from Shambhala.
Okay, here's another question, Rinpoche. Who gets free from karma? The body, the soul, the spirit? What's getting free from it?
Not body, not soul, not spirit. Okay? You, me, means not our version of me and you. That never existed. But there is real you, real me. That called enlightenment. You can call Buddha, you can call God. Doesn't matter what you name it. As Buddhist, of course, they just call Buddha. That one is going to be free. In another word, your Buddha nature. Your Buddha nature is actually yourself. That is really you are. But we don't call I am Buddha. We call I have Buddha nature, because right now you are in illusion state, not the reality. So that's why this language is fit this stage. We fit say I have Buddha nature rather than I am Buddha.
Rinpoche, how do you suggest we deal with the karma of addiction?
Huh? Diction.
Addiction. This person's asking, how do you suggest they best deal with having the karma of addiction?
I mean, addiction means if you are a killer.
No, it's like dependent on drugs or something.
Oh. Drugs, I don't think that you don't have to go previous lifetime. This lifetime you can addict it, right?
Yeah, so they're wondering how to deal with that karma.
Same thing. When you are determined, you can do anything. If you are two-minded, you can't do it. You can't do free from addiction. You need only determination and discipline.
Okay. This person's wondering, didn't the Buddha, so this kind of goes back to like, how are things evolving? Didn't the Buddha predict that the lifespan of sentient beings would be decreasing in the end of the Dharma era? And so they're wondering why people are living longer and longer if the lifespan's supposed to get shorter and shorter at the degenerate age.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think the Buddha's the prediction of this life shorter and shorter is, I think, is much longer than what we thinking now. You know, we are now a longer living. That is too short time. Okay, so not in this range Buddha talking about, I think, because the calculation, if you know that Abhidharma Kosha, very, 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 very long way. I don't think that fit in. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna wrap
But
up.
I have to remember Buddha, the most important Buddha taught us, don't believe my words are literally. And you have to analyze again. If there is, you can prove not real, you can throw away. Buddha said that. So if you can prove anything Buddha wrong, you don't have to follow. That is very special religion, Buddhist. Okay? They have room of that.
Okay, I just want to let everyone know we'll be wrapping up the questions shortly. We'll do another one or two. This person's asking if they can transfer their karma, like their transfer fixed karma. It's like, can I give my karma to someone else?
No possible, Buddha said. Impossible.
And for the final question, we're going to go back to anger. There's still lots of questions about how to deal with quick surges of anger, or like, do I need to learn to control my anger? How do I deal with anger?
Anger controls you. That is a very big problem. But you don't have to get rid of anger. You need anger sometimes. But anger controls you. That is a very big problem. So if anger controls you, and then you just suddenly fix is you just have to think something else, not what you currently angry about. So that usually, yes, huge deep breathing and breathing out and focus that. And then you can think something else, not that you currently angry about it now. That you can do very quickly, suddenly, but, and then you have to, for long-term benefit, you have to, the consequences of anger, what does. Then you should focus anger or shouldn't focus anger. You let anger control you or you want control anger. You have to, this all advantages, disadvantages have to analyze when you are not angry and make sure have good preparation when anger comes. Anger comes, you can control the anger rather than anger control you. That's you need preparation.
Okay, Rinpoche, I think, thank you so much for this teaching on karma and purification. Rinpoche will be starting a course with us tomorrow. If anyone's interested, we have about 100 people joining us to learn about perfect conduct. So if you're interested in that, starts tomorrow morning or night.
Oh, that is really, really important. Do you know why?
Why, Rinpoche?
I'll tell you why, okay? Remember, I said everything solve the problems is change yourself, right? Change yourself means change, perfect conduct. Perfect conduct, easy to say, but not easy to do. Usually people think that. Then I teach you how easy to do. That's why important. That's number one. Second, traditionally make all complicated so many numbers of rules and then people discourage it. Why? Because people don't like rules. Is it true?
Yes.
People think rules means controlling you. That's why people don't like rules. And traditionally, rules look like, traditionally teach this way and people take that way. But when we would like rules, when we respect the rules, anybody can tell me? Or Chloe, you can tell me?
Okay, when they help us. When they help us.
Yeah, helps. There is a purpose of the rule. The purpose is the absolutely necessary, not just little necessary, but is absolutely necessary. Then people respect the rule. People values the rule. Why? Because they're not focusing on the rule, they're focusing on the benefits. The rules only for purpose. If you don't need the purpose, you don't need the rules. Or you achieved a purpose, you don't need a rule again. But usually people don't see this, and traditionally not presented like that, and then people don't see like this. People So then they just given up. That is a very big problem. So I teach you when we apply rules, what the purpose and how simplify the rules and how flexible of the rules. I teach that. A few levels, but emotional level and bodhisattva level and Vajrayana, Tantrayana level. These three I teach 6 weeks. So if anybody interested, this is very important because also nobody teach this online. Can you find? I never heard. Why? Because people think, some people think, Asians think the Western people don't like rules. Western people think maybe Asian don't like rules. They don't respect rules. And the monastic people think the lay people cannot do that rules. But I believe everybody can do it if they know what the purpose and if they know the flexibility. That's why I teach it. Probably I never teach again this one, only this time. 6 weeks every Sunday morning. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Rinpoche. And we'll do the remade dedication prayer for this evening to dedicate the virtue. By all these virtuous deeds of accumulated merit, may all beings be rescued from the ocean of samsara, where the tide of aging, sickness, and death is violently active. May this merit help all beings attain Buddhahood and be victorious of all the enemies of deceptive obscurations. By the goodness of what I have just done, may all beings complete the accumulation of merit and wisdom and gain the two sacred bodies. Whatever roots of virtue have been accumulated, now or throughout the 3 times, I dedicate them here so that all mother-like beings may attain perfect and complete Buddhahood. Just like the exalted ones Manjushri and Samantabhadra practiced, like them I rejoice in all the virtues still to come and fully dedicate them as well. In future lives, may I never be separated from my glorious Lama. May I never be separated from the joy of practicing the precious Dharma. May I accomplish all the enlightened Bhumi levels and paths and attain the Buddhahood of Vajradhara. As long as space remains, as long as beings exist, may I remain and expel their sorrows until they reach Buddhahood. May the precious renunciation arise which has not yet arisen, and may that which has already arisen not degenerate, may it increase. May the precious ethical discipline arise which has not yet arisen, and may that which has already arisen not degenerate, may it increase. May the precious bodhicitta arise which has not yet arisen, and may that which has already arisen not degenerate, may it increase. May the precious view of emptiness arise which has not yet arisen, and may that which has already arisen not degenerate, may it increase. May the precious Dharma be respected and remain in this world. The only medicine and cure for suffering, the source of all happiness, is the sacred Dharma. By the power of the 3 bodies of the Buddhas, the immutable truth of the Dharma, by the power of the inseparable union of the Sangha, may all our wishes be fulfilled. Just like the morning sun rising in the sky, may these teachings of the unsurpassable great secret of all the Buddhas spread and flourish throughout this world. Through the profound aspirations of the Bodhisattva kings of Shambhala, may we manifest the glory of the second golden age in this world. May all of us Dharma brothers and sisters come to enjoy the good fortune of our courage and commitment. Om Svasti, Dharmakaya truth body, primordially free from stains of elaboration, inconceivable treasury of spontaneous clear light, perfect pristine awareness of wisdom and compassion, appearing completely as the body of the deity, Guru Kala Chakra, please protect us. Virtuous friend who with the two dharmas transmits an ocean of nectar, the compassionate blessings of Manjushri and all the victor's children, that manifest as a magical display of enlightened activities. Beloved guide of incomparable wisdom, may you live a long and healthy life. Endowed with Samaya, Vajra disciples gather like clouds. Roaring like thunder, the melodious sound of sutra and tantra ring out, and the ambrosial rain that ripens and liberates moistens the earth. May the great lotus garden of the Buddha's teachings flourish for all time. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.